Implementation of Sustainable Transport Plan, Electric Bus from Solar Power Energy. Hi there, I'm Kribanandan, the group leader of PM8. My group member in Sheikh Muhammad Yami Baka and I will be presenting you a video based on our project, the assignment, and our topic for the project is implementation of Sustainable Transport Plan, that is to run the electric bus from solar energy. Without further ado, let us go into the slides. Thank you.
Hi everyone, very good morning to all of you. My name is Muhammad Yami Baka, a team member of Group PM8. Our topic of our project is electric bus from solar power energy. As a team member, we work together with in-depth study and discussion to implement a sustainability transportation plan by developing solar power energy electric bus. Now we take you to the PowerPoint step by step on the process of project management.
Before we begin on the project management slide, we just showed you one of the pilot project of how electric bus from solar power energy looks like in Malaysia. There are 17 sustainable goals developed by the United Nations. Among those 17 goals, the goal number 9 is about industry, infrastructure and innovation. This report depicts the importance of project management practices to develop a real-world project. The project proposed for the paper is implementation of Sustainable Transport Plan, that is to run an electric bus from solar power energy in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The introduction. Now let us see, there are 4 pointers here. In this frequent changing world, the global community has become awakened than before on sustainability issues. In order to ensure that by the end of 2030, people all over the planet will enjoy prosperity, the United Nations has adopted Sustainable Development Goals, which is also known as Global Goals. This action is taken also to end the poverty and to protect this planet. At the same time, corporate social responsibility policies are also developed to address different development challenges.
Most of the countries are committed for prioritizing the progress of the sustainable goals. Different projects are proposed by different industries for the sustainable improvement. There are closer relationship between sustainable development growth, sharing economy, and sustainability. In order to design and implement any project, resource allocation is very important. So, to allocate the resources properly, the dimensions that are to be considered by companies comprises of 1. Environmental dimension, 2. Economic dimension, and 3. Social dimension. Now let's have a look at the salient points of our literature review. Among the 17 Sustainable Development Goals or SDG by United Nations, 5 out of 17 goals that are goals number 6, 12, 13, 14 and 15 are focused on balancing nature or related to ecology. There are two different sides of sustainable development goals that looks at risk of flaw. The specific two ecological aspects that are required to be considered to conduct the analysis are emission of carbon dioxide and resource utilization. Over the growing period, every province increases their Sustainable Development Goal Index score. It has been realized that for the tracking the progress, spatio-temporal dynamics towards Sustainable Development Goal is therefore essential. Private industry can play a role in the SDG implementation process. Incorporation of sustainable development in the business organization implies that the organization will do for the planet and the people. With regard to detailed literature survey and analysis, it has been determined that the backbone of global economic growth and sustainability is dependent and related to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Therefore, the ultimate purpose of almost every project is somewhere linked to the Sustainable Development Goals. Now, let us take a look at the description of our project background. The project nominated for is implementation of sustainable transport plan, that is electrical bus from solar power energy. The primary purpose of the project is linked to the 9th goal of the Sustainable Development Goal or SDG developed by United Nations. The 9th goal of SDG is industry, innovation and infrastructure. The successful accomplishment of sustainable transport plan will support the global economy partially and give unique environmental sustainability. The purpose of the project is to reduce the emission of carbon dioxide, harmful greenhouse gases, air pollution, etc. Therefore, a 70 miles route in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia has been selected, whereby these electric buses will be operating for initial phase of a few months. However, the range of the bus can be changed or affected due to performance of the driver, propulsion system efficacy, weather, battery capacity, etc. The electric buses can serve for a maximum of 6 to 8 hours with a fully charged battery life. So, the aim of the goal is to build resilient infrastructure, promote sustainable and inclusive industrialization. That is the industry development that must include all countries and all people for fostering innovation globally that provide technological solutions to environmentally sound industrialization. It also can be said that the sustainable transformation in terms of electric bus with solar power energy will definitely reduce the rate of emission of carbon dioxide and other harmful gases, reduce possibility of air pollution, and also reduce the use of fossil fuel and other non-renewable energy sources.
A project charter is a formal, typical short document that describes the project in its entirety, including what the objectives are, how it will be carried out, and who are the stakeholders are. It is a crucial ingredient in planning the project because it is used throughout the project lifestyle. Project charter, the scope of the project is to implement a sustainable transportation plan by developing solar power energy electric bus. In Malaysia, electric buses are already running, but none of those buses run with batteries charged from the solar power. Therefore, in the rooftop of the bus depot, solar panel and photovoltaic system will be installed from where the batteries of the buses can be charged. The longevity of each battery after a single charge will be approximately 6 to 8 hours. A local-based electronic company has been contracted by the Transport Authority of Malaysia to install the solar panel and the photovoltaic system. In brief, project management objectives are the successful development of the project's procedure of initiation, planning, execution, regulation and closure, as well as the guidance of the project team's operations towards achieving all agreed upon goals within the set scope, time, quality and the budget standard. As per the project, we have made 3 objectives given, and they are to design and implement the sustainable transport plan within Ringgit Malaysia 1 million and a period of 8 months. To use solar power energy for generating energy, to reduce the rate of emission of all harmful gases.
This project is unique with specific of tasks that designed to achieve the desired outcome and deliverable. This project has undergone all the project management processes, that is, initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and control, and closing. With that regard, it is assumed that the project will be completed within the estimated time and budget. Number 2, the project should reduce the emission of harmful gases. Number 3, the project must reduce the rate of air pollution. And number 4, the use of non-renewable energy sources and fossil fuel in this project will be eliminated. Milestone, time and budget. Despite of thorough planning, which can reduce risk to minimize the impact on the project, there is still no amount of planning can actually eliminate completely some of the unexpected or uncontrollable events. As such, the milestone chart is used focuses on planned significant event at specific time in the project life cycle to minimize risk. Some of the risks that can hamper the project are presented here. 1. Lack of experience and knowledge among team members. 2. Inadequate communication among the team members. 3. Overshooting of project budget. 4. Unavailability of adequate sunlight. 5. High initial cost and expensive energy storage. 6. Solar panel use large space. And finally, overlooking of pollution impact. As such, the preparation of milestone chart is established to cover the following: M1. Handover project charter. M2. Completion of project plan. M3. Completion of project design. M4. Monitoring and control completion. And 5. Completion of project closure. So, the time and budget for this project will take 8 months for the project to complete and will involve cost of 1 million ringgit Malaysia.
A project specification is a document containing a detailed parameter and description about what they need to use to complete the project successfully. As shown is a chart of parameter and specification needed for this project to install the photovoltaic system. Work breakdown structure (WBS) is a tool that utilizes this technique and is one of the most important project management documents. It integrates scope, cost, and schedule baseline, ensuring that the project plan are in alignment. For this project, the project schedule for sustainable transport plan are divided into 5 phases. The phase 1 with initiation, phase 2 planning, phase 3 design and execution, phase 4 monitoring and control, and phase 5 closure. And the details are given below. A Gantt chart, commonly used in a project management, one of the most popular and useful way of showing activities, tasks or event displayed against time. On the left of the chart is a list of activities, and along the top is a suitable time scale. Each activity is represented by a bar. The position and length of the bar reflects the start date, duration, and end date of the activity. Using critical path, it has been determined that the project plan will take minimum 240 days for this project to get accomplished. The Gantt chart shows the task name with the specific estimated time for each task from the beginning till the end of the project. As per the Gantt chart for this project, there are 38 tasks which begins from 17 December 2020 till 17 November 2021. The total cost estimated for the project is Ringgit Malaysia 1 million. The detailed cost distribution is shown in the diagram above. The diagram shows the Sustainable Transport Plan project schedule is about 1,304 hours in total, and in phase 1 initiation it took about 104 hours. In phase 2 the planning takes about 456 hours. The phase 3 design and execution takes 408 hours. Phase 4 monitoring and control took about 208 hours, and the closure takes 128 hours. The distribution of the fund is shown at the respective phases. The cash flow is a movement of money in and out of the company. The NPV, net present value, is calculated for 10 years. In the first year, the cash flow amount is total to the budget invested. For the second, third, and the fourth year, the cash flow value is 0. After that, from the 5th to 10th year, the cash flow values are also added. The NPV is calculated using the formula in an Excel sheet. On the other hand, payback period is the time which the investors are expected to get back the money they have invested. This is also completed, followed by the payback formula. For the project, the sponsor will get back the investment by 3.73 years time.
Communication Management Plan. Communication Management Plan is the communication plan that outlines the informational needs of the stakeholders, when this information should be distributed, and how it should be delivered, which cover 5 important steps. Step 1. Define the purpose and approach. Step 2. List goal and objective of the project. Step 3. Research and assigning roles. Step 4. Determine method of communication. And step 5. Pinpoint high-level communication. With that regards, the communication management plan is structured into 5 columns. That is, topic to discuss, who will be involved, when actually they are supposed to get involved, at what frequency they are supposed to get involved, and finally, the confirmation of channel of communication. We have identified 5 important meetings. That is, the first one is the kick-off meeting. So the kick-off meeting will involve project manager and all the team members. When? It's during the initial stage of the project. At what frequency? Once. And a channel of communication will be email, video conference, and online meeting. For second meeting, that is project team meeting, will involve operation manager and team when, as, and when required. Frequency, monthly. Channel, email, video, conference, and online meetings. The third meeting will be on the technical as well as creative design meeting. That will involve technical team and project manager when during the planning stage, at what frequency as required. Channel of communication that will be used are email, video conference, and online meeting. The fourth meeting is the monthly project status meeting that will involve project manager and team members when during the planning stage, at what frequency, monthly, and the channel of communication are email, video conference, and online meeting. And the fifth meeting is the project status report that will involve operational manager and project team when is during the execution of the project, at what frequency is when required, and the channel of the communication are email, video conference, and online meeting. Project stakeholder management. According to Project Management Institute, the term project stakeholders refers to an individual, group, or organization who may be affected by, or perceive itself to be affected by a decision, activity, or outcome of a project. In project stakeholder management, we need to identify the stakeholders at the very early stage of the project, analyze their expectations and influences, and to develop appropriate strategies to work with them. There are two types of stakeholders, internal and external. For internal stakeholders will be project manager, operation manager, developer, electrical engineer, technical team members, and finance manager. While for external stakeholders, there will be suppliers, government, and the local council.
Strategies to maintain the stakeholders. For maintaining stakeholders and keeping them engaged in the project throughout the development life cycle, agile approach has to be followed. The strategies that are to be maintained to keep them all satisfied are elaborated in this section. The stakeholder mapping. At the initial stage, thorough stakeholders analysis is needed to be performed. After that, all key factors like demography, interest in the people concerned, and requirement, etc. should be identified and examined. The requirements of both types of stakeholders should be accomplished. Key influences. The level of influence of each of the stakeholders has to be prioritized. During the period, the stakeholders can directly communicate with the team members. Apart from the power and interest of each of the stakeholders must be analyzed. Identify triggers. In different project action, the stakeholders react differently. Therefore, for the sustainable transport project plan in terms of electric bus from solar power, effective periodical communication, migration, and alternative solution should be developed periodically.
Lesson learned. The project plan must be supported with detailed communication and stakeholders management plan. The stakeholders must be mapped based on their power, influences and interests in the project. Their influences in the project life cycle also has to be evaluated by the project manager. Team members and the project associate need to use open communication strategy and share their ideas, opinion and feedback with each other. Among the valuable lessons are 1. From the overall analysis and information gathered, it can be summarized that in order to design, execute and manage the sustainable transportation project that is electrical bus from solar power, a comprehensive project management plan is vital and necessary. Number 2, poor project management practices can hamper the project progress and could eventually lead to a failure such as delay, cost run out, abandoned project or occupational safety and health incidences, etc. And third, before planning any project, accurate scope documentation or scope management plan is necessary. After that, during the project planning stage, cost and schedule management plan should be developed.
As a full electric bus, what is the main technical principle of E12? In the drive phase, the vehicle controller sends out signals to the integrated controller, and the battery will provide power to the drive motor through the integrated controller. Then the drive motor will transform the electric energy into mechanical energy to drive the vehicle via the drive axle. While taxiing and braking, the vehicle controller sends out signals to the integrated controller, and the integrated controller will control the drive motor to transform the kinetic energy into electricity to charge the battery so as to achieve the recovery of braking energy. Under the external charging status, the battery can be charged through the charging device, which gets electricity from the power grid. This is the main principle of E12.
We from Group PM08 would like to take this opportunity to convey our heartfelt gratitude and thank you for all the guidance and knowledge received in making this assignment and video presentation as a successful one. Indeed, it is a valuable new experience and additional knowledge that we will treasure most for all future projects to be undertaken throughout our working life.